All right, hold on. I'm gonna pull some out of here too. I have a lot in here. I added a lot.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's see. I added some prompts in here too, not just questions. I think this is one that I wrote. Oh, okay. This is based off of something that you and I were talking about. It's a theme that we've been talking about a lot, actually. Describe an example of something unexpected that's come into your life that's made it fuller than you ever contemplated.
Oh, unexpected that came into my life
Actually,
that
this
made it.
isn't I love this question, but there's a different one that I wrote that's based off of a theme that you and I have been talking about, how
Yeah.
things always end up working out. But this one is a little bit more magical.
No dress code, no rules, just BYOU. It's time to tell society that it's a taboo. You can be the youest you here in the naked room.
Did you take your vitamins today, by the
I
way?
didn't, and it just reminded
Your
me that
solar vitamins?
no, I forgot. I need to take them, but it's okay. It's still like, what time is it? We have a discount code they gave
We
us.
do. We'll drop it it's the naked room. Just all caps,
Easy.
like we're screaming at you, the naked room.
Ah,
No,
naked room.
the naked room. We'll put it in the show notes too.
Yeah, I
But
think it's like
20% off.
20%.
20% off. Yeah. It makes a big difference.
Man, I feel like it's such a cop out because it's probably what you feel like you think I would say, but I feel like I have to say lug nut. Like that's what comes to my mind because I wasn't planning on
Big
getting. It was
boo-boo.
during the pandemic, and I was not planning on getting another dog, and
Yeah.
that was really out of the blue. Like my friend Chris had called me and was just like, I mean, you know the story, but he was at like the Westminster with
You
his
should tell it
dogs because
again.
he has not greyhounds, Weimaraners, and he was
Mm.
at I think the Westminster, one of the dog shows, and met this woman, and he just felt compelled. We don't even talk that often, maybe like a couple times a year, and he's like, Jill, I met this woman at the dog show, and she has these dogs, Cane Corsos. I think you want one. I was like, oh, really? And I actually trust his judgment enough because he knew Diesel really well, my
Yeah.
dog that I had lost, that I was like, never
Yeah.
again. That was too hard. And it was like one of those things where, you know, when you're like unsure of something, but then it just everything lines up so perfectly that you're like, well, this has to like I have to follow through with this. It was like when I moved to Nantucket and everyone's like, there's no way you're gonna find housing right away. And I found this like adorable little cottage, and it was like really dirt cheap rent actually, and like
That you drew.
that I drew a
That
picture
you
of,
drew
and
a picture of.
just like stuff like that. So it kind of was like
It's
that where he's
amazing.
like, call her because she only, and I'd never purchased a dog besides giving the fee to the animal shelter of like $30 to take home like a stray. But this was, it was a pandemic. Everybody lost their minds a little bit. And so I was like, okay, I'll follow this rabbit trail. And so I call the woman, and she is, I'm like, oh, Chris said to give you a call and just introduce myself. I'll fill out an application on the website. He said that, you only breed every once in a while. And she's like, not her. I just had puppies today.
I just had puppies.
Her bitch.
Her bitch
had just had
puppies.
puppies, and it was Easter Sunday, I think. And so I was surprised she even answered the phone. And anyway, she's like, yeah, like, and she's like, what are you looking for? I'm like, a boy, but I don't really have a preference in coat or whatever. And she's like, what are you gonna do with it? And I'm like, nothing.
What do you want
just be like, because most of them are like show dogs or protection, or like they're huge. I'm like, he's just gonna be my friend. And so she's like, yeah, I have one unclaimed male, so I'll let you know. And it was like my first experience with that whole process where you don't look at a lineup of puppies and be like, that's the one. She's like, I do a test with them once they reach 5 or 6 weeks old, and I decide which ones will be good for companions and which one will be good for protection and which ones will be good for show dogs or whatever. So yeah, everyone was on lockdown. No one was flying. It was very tisk to do any of that. And my ass jumped on a tiny little plane off Nantucket. I said, fuck that. I'm going to get my puppy. So I still remember I was in the Stop and Shop parking lot when I got the text from her that was like, this is him. And maybe we can share the photo later, but she's like, this is the one that, you could have if you want. And I was like, I'll take him. And, he was so freaking cute. And so, so yeah, I booked a flight like whenever after that, shortly after, and kind of snuck off the island, went to Florida to
Mm-hmm.
this woman's home and picked him up. And then because of the flight times, I stayed in this like the only hotel that was dog friendly that was near where she lived was this like kind of shitty motel. And it was COVID too. So there was like, it was just everything was weird. And I had this puppy and I was just like, everything's weird. And I was single during the pandemic, which like, you know, is harder than I think a lot of people really give it credit for. I had another
Mm-hmm.
single friend, Mary, and like we really kept each other sane
Yeah.
by doing like FaceTime and stuff. But like being single during a time like that was really weird. Like being like, okay, I have to be alone. I literally lived alone. Nobody was, I didn't have a cat, didn't have a fucking mouse in the house. Like I was just like alone.
Not
And I
that you
don't,
know of.
that I knew of. There were horses that lived across the street. I feel like I was like, waving to them. But anyway, like I was like, okay, yeah. Like I really feel like I had one of those moments in my life where I was like, if I don't like, I might lose it if this goes on a little longer and I don't have like some sort of companion. And so, yeah, I went and got him. We stayed in this motel, and I remember the next morning we woke up to like catch our flight, and we had like a couple hours to kill, but I threw his toy. We're like playing fetch, and I like throw his toy, and it like goes over on the other side of the little bed, and he like runs under the bed, and instead of coming out with his toy, he comes out with like a used condom. I was like, "We're getting out of here right now, Lugnut. Grab your shit. You don't have any yet, but I'll grab." Like I was out of there so fast, and then the funniest part is I like go to the desk, and I'm like, "Hey." So then I look under because I'm like, "How bad is this? What did I sleep on last night?" It's like an old wrapper, an empty water bottle, like somebody's glasses. Like they just
Oh,
had not
God.
cleaned. Like you would have lost your mind. And so I go to the front desk. I'm like, I'm checking out early. And also, like, my room wasn't cleaned. And they're like, oh, it was cleaned. It's just that during the pandemic, because we have a small staff, we only clean under the bed like every 3 cleanings. And I was like,
No.
what? Like, how, what? How's that make sense? Make it
That's
make
so
sense.
gross.
So yeah, we ran out of there and we just sat at the airport for more hours than necessary.
I would
and
have
made it back.
too.
But yeah, he's just been such a joy in my life, and I've moved so many times since then. And like, he's just the best boy. And I've since then like had a couple friends who, I mean, too, you have a dog, but I don't know if you've ever been in an experience where you've been like like solo single and like had a dog has been like your homeboy, like I feel like
Never.
you guys got um you guys got Zula like together. So I had another friend who was going through a hard time like shortly after that, and like we were touching base a lot, and like he was just like, I don't know what to do with my I'm just like having like, I feel like I'm gonna lose it. And I was like, or he was starting to have these panic attacks or something too that was like really scary. And I was like, how far are you from an SPCA? Like, you need to go to the animal shelter right now and get a dog. And like,
Yeah.
and he did, and it has that dog still. And so I
I love
think,
that dog. I know which
yeah,
dog you're
it's
talking about.
a good dog.
It's a sweet babe.
I think that's obviously not great advice for some people, like if you don't have the time and the attention and everything, but
Right.
also they really do just bring, to circle back to your question, so much unexpected joy and fulfillment to your life. Like,
Yeah.
keeps you
Let's make it fuller than you ever contemplated. That's what it is.
exactly
Yeah.
fuller than you ever
Yeah.
contemplated.
Yeah. Getting a dog is definitely not something you do just
To
on
fix
a whim. Or you
anything,
shouldn't.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like I wouldn't say that
Shouldn't.
that's gonna fix. You also like let it be known that like the people I've advised this to have already been like very heavy dog people. Like, so
Yes.
I wouldn't say like, oh, if you don't love dogs, try getting a dog. Maybe that'll help. Like, I'm
Yeah.
already a dog person.
Don't take it lightly. It's like one step down from having a child, I guess.
Yeah.
And different types of responsibilities, but
Yeah.
it's a big responsibility, and it's going to transform your life and if you're a good dog owner and you're responsible, it's going to transform your priorities. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we
And
ended
it's
up getting
tragic
Zula.
too. It's like probably one of the not one of the only relationships in your life that, but kind of, it's like one of the only relationships I feel like you enter into knowing that you like 100% are going to see the full cycle of this relationship. Like,
Oh God.
like you don't go into a relationship or a marriage or whatever being like, I know that, I mean, maybe some people do if their husband or wife is like much older than them, but But
Yeah.
in most cases, like, you're not going to enter something and be like, I'm going to love this person. I'm going to grieve this person. And like, I know that that's going to happen within this decade. Like, that's the thing that's wild. It's like, most
Right.
dogs only live, you know, big dogs, 10 years. You might get like 16-ish out of like a small dog, but
Yeah.
it's something that you have to be prepared for. So
I was
buzzkill,
beloved.
sorry.
It's true. I think it's important to feel into those feelings though, because
Yeah.
I saw some, those TikTok videos where someone's like, my dog crossed the Rainbow Bridge today or something. Like I saw one of those.
In the arms of...
Yeah, exactly. Like in black and white. No, it's like a golden retriever running and someone's like, come on, boy, or something. Like yelling from the car or whatever.
Mhm.
And the text just said, like, please meet me in another life. I'm going to start crying.
Oh, no, you
Talking
are. Your brows just did I can't even do it with mine.
the quiver.
You did like the Claire Danes, like your little chin.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. I get the 11 lines for sure. And like,
Yeah.
there's no Botox in there. But it's like, I'm so hyper aware of the fact that these dogs just like their only flaw is that they don't live long enough. I guess I'll just stick to the same theme of talking about puppies.
Yeah, Zula.
Yeah, she came into my life it was a coworker of mine when I worked at Red Bull. She would she had like 4 dogs of her own and then she would foster a dog or 2 at a time. And Zula happened to be one of her fosters. Zula had already been with a couple different owners at that point. She was with an 18-year-old girl whose mom was like, you can't get a dog because you won't be able to afford it. And lo and behold, 5 or 6 months in, she couldn't afford it. So she went to someone else who worked at Red Bull for like a week. And Zula didn't get along with the cats. And the nanny,
Yeah,
the day that I met Zula, she's just interested in cats. She's like terrified of them, but she's very interested. And so it
Yeah.
can seem intimidating.
It's a little chaotic.
Yeah, it's a little chaotic. So the nanny was like, I am here to watch your kids. I'm not here to try to like make sure that your cats and your dog get along. So Zula comes to the office in like haste or whatever because she's not acting right with the cats. And my coworker was like, "Oh, there's this dog that had to come into the office today that Molly is fostering. Do you want to come and meet her?" And she's like a shepherd husky mix. And so I met her and she's like a lanky teenager at this point, like 7, 8 months old, like toothpick legs. And she looks like a little supermodel deer or something. So I meet her and I'm like, oh my God, this dog's beautiful. And I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks later, Curtis and Zula and I went on a hike with Molly and her other dogs. And Curtis like fell in love with Zula. And we ended up taking her home like that weekend. We had some plans. We were going out to Joshua Tree that weekend. We ended up picking her up on that Sunday night. And so she's 9 months old at this point. She's already been in a few different houses. And she's a really smart dog. So it took a long time, like 6 or 7 months, for me to even feel like we bonded. And so there was all this time in those 6 or 7 months where I was like, what the fuck did we do? I don't even like this dog. Like, this dog's pretty. She's cool, but she's also just
hair everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. What the fuck? She's just like messing up my house. She's cool and she's pretty and I can tell she's really smart, but I don't feel like she gives a shit about me. And whatever, I'm just not going to give a shit about her either. So I was like guarding myself. Right. And it was like 6 or 7 months in where I just had this realization that I couldn't imagine life without her. And, now it's to a point where, people will be like, oh yeah, if you get a dog, then you just can't travel as much. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about doing that stuff because I just want to be with her. And so we've literally driven back and forth across the country 3 times so that Zula can go with us.
Yep.
And
been there.
Yeah. You just change your trajectory of what you care about doing. into something that can include your best friend. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's lovely.
so anyway, she's gonna rip my heart out when she does die. I'm never gonna be the same. But yeah, I think about that part a little bit more than I would
We'll
like to
grieve
admit.
together. We'll go on some ridiculous vacation and have way too many
Yeah,
pina coladas and
yeah,
just cry it out.
yeah. But anyway, if you are in the market to get a dog and you're able to do it, it'll change your life in the best ways you could ever anticipate. If you've never had a dog before, if you have, your dog becomes your family member.
Did I know you yet when I fostered Pebbles? Okay.
No,
Okay.
who's Pebbles?
All right. There's an organization in LA called Ace of Hearts. They're wonderful. They foster and they rescue only like bully breed dogs. I knew this, okay? When I first moved to LA and was just nannying kind of like part of the day, but living in, and so I had a lot of free time. I went on to Craigslist, as any sane person does, to look for like side jobs or any way that I could like make a little money, because I didn't technically have enough time to like take on another job, but I, had some time in the middle of the day. And I found this ad where you could foster dogs through this organization, and they'd pay you to foster them. They'd give you the food, they'd take care of the vet bills, and it was like not a ton, but it was maybe like $100 a week. Like it was
That's
substantial enough to be like, I love dogs. And the family I nannied for, the son had been kind of continually talking about getting a dog, and the mom was very like, I don't think that this is a good idea. So I approach her with the angle of, well, listen, if you are eventually ever going to get him a dog, what a great time, because I'm here to train this dog for you and to take care of this dog and to help him learn how to take care of this dog. It was before I'd brought Diesel there, so I had just moved there. And she's like, okay, like I see your point. Good idea, like go for it. So in order to like foster a dog, you go to their adoption event, and the woman was asking me like, what is your experience with dogs? And the only thing that the woman I nannied for asked is, she's like, I don't care, like just don't bring home like a big dog, because I don't think that I could handle that. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking they're bully breeds, so they're probably like pit bull, maybe like whatever, bulldogs, like she was like, don't bring like a giant, like a Great Dane home or something.
Yeah,
And
English bulldog size.
yeah, like something that's like medium. And so I'm like, all right, I'll see. I was like, I don't think I have a choice. Like they just kind of show me what's available, but like duly noted. So I go to this adoption event. It's like in West Hollywood, I think at one of the Petcos or something. And I like show up, and the woman, I get there and it's kind of chaotic. I feel like anybody that like rescues dogs, like this woman was like lovely and beautiful, but just like just like her energy was just like, hi, and I was just like, hello, I'm Jamie Lynn. And she's like, okay, so what do you like, tell me what your experience is. It like, do you have experience with big dogs? And I was like, I do. Like I actually have an American bulldog at home. I haven't like brought him out here yet, but I've always had big dogs. Like, yes, I'm very comfortable with them. And I'm thinking she means like to work the event, because I was also like volunteering to help that day. So she goes, like there's dogs in crates outside for the adoption, and then she goes to the back of this like Subaru or whatever it was, and there's like a big crate in the back of it, and she's like, I think I have the dog for you. Remind me to find a picture of Pebbles. And she's like, okay, she's really nice, and I think like you said, you're really good with American bulldogs. And she like opens up this thing, and this giant dog, like most I feel like fosters are kind of like in the corner of the crate, like I don't know, this giant dog who is like bigger, I would say like the size of Lugnut, but chunkier. Like it must have been she definitely was part American bulldog, but then also part like, I don't even know, like she was huge. And so she jumps out. She looks kind of like the dog from like Turner and Hooch, but she's not that breed. So she's just like, "Rah!" Like comes out of the back of the car, and she's very sweet. She's giving me kisses and like, and I have my little Honda Civic at the time. And so I worked the event because I'm like, okay, I feel so pressured kind of into this. It was before I knew how to set good boundaries. And so I'm like, okay. And I'm now in charge of showing this dog to people who are interested and who are at the event. And no one's interested in her because she's fucking huge. She's drooling everywhere. And so I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I'm making friends with her. And then at the end of the event, like the woman's like, all right, are you taking her home? You want to foster her? Like, here's a check if you want to take her. And I'm like, all right. And so I load her into the back seat of my Honda Civic and I'm driving. And it doesn't occur to me. I'm like somewhere on the 101. I'm like kind of looking in my rearview mirror, just like, this dog can fucking kill me right now. I don't know anything, but I just had a feeling that she was okay. Like, I was like, she's been fine with me. She was fine with all the people that came by and like talked to her. But as well as anyone that like foster dogs have triggers sometimes. Like, you don't know what
Yeah.
might set them off. So it kind of occurred to me like, oh shit, I don't even know. So hopefully this is okay. And so anyway, I bring her home. The kids love her and we all love her. She's really funny. She's like goofy. She's big. And then come Christmas break, this is a tale to be like, speaking of like, don't get a dog unless you are ready for it and know the circumstances. Come Christmas break, I am now flying home to West Virginia to pick up my dog, which we're all like, cool. These dogs will be friends. Like, and I knew that Diesel loved like any dog. So I was like, this is great. We were actually like kind of maybe leaning towards keeping Pebbles, not just fostering her. And I fly home and I get a call from the woman I'm nannying like a few days in. And she's like, we have a problem. And I'm like, oh no, like what happened?
No.
The tenant that lived in the back house worked in the film industry and either didn't tell the woman I nannied for that she was coming home. Like, like she just like got done, wrapped up with what she was doing and flew home. And when she travels, she has this tiny, tiny dog, like a little like Shih Tzu or whatever.
Oh no.
And she came home like late at night in the dark, and I think the family usually like left the back door open or whatever, like the slider, just so that Pebbles had run like free reign of the backyard. So the woman comes home, the tenant comes home, and her little dog is with her, and Pebbles, rightfully so, sees a strange dog and a stranger in the night that she has never seen. And she's now attached to this family and is like, protect.
Oh, no.
She runs out, and the woman I nannied for explained it to me. Like, she's like, I had to like throw my body onto this dog and pull her off. And I actually don't think that she punctured or did any actual, like, I think she kind of, those breeds tend to have this like trait where they'll hold something at bay that they think is like a threat. So they won't actually like attack it and rip it up, but they'll like pin it and be like, I got the threat handled, carry on. And so she kind of did something like that, but it obviously scared the shit out of the tenant, and the little dog and all of that. So she's like, I wasn't due to be home for another like week and a half. And so she was like, I'll lose my tenant if I like keep this dog around. Like, I have to get this dog out of here. So we had to call Ace of Hearts and they had to come pick up Pebbles. And I hope that Pebbles found a really good home because I loved her so much. She was so sweet. So yeah, that was the story of big old Pebbles, which like, I remember the woman was sitting at her desk in like the back room, like on her computer doing work. And I called her, I think on my way. I was like, I'm coming home with the dog, here we come. She's like, what'd they give you? I'm like, you'll see. Like,
oh my God.
So I come
she's
home
like,
and
no
I like,
big dogs.
Yeah, I let her around the corner, like in the back door. And she's like, what is this? Like, is this a joke?
What we talked about. Yeah.
What we talked about. But she in turn did end up falling in love with her too. But yeah, that happened. And it was just one of those things where luckily she came from a foundation, an organization that was like, we'll take her right back and we'll find her a home. And I'm sure that they did find her one because she was so sweet. But that was the story of Pebbles.
Yeah. No, it's familiar. I was dying though. And you're like, did I tell you about Pebbles? I'm like, where is this going to go? This is going to go in one of two directions.
She took up the whole back seat of or it wasn't my Honda Civic. I had a Toyota Corolla when I was in LA, and she took up the entire back seat.
If you're listening, share it with someone. Then we have more people.
Yeah, exactly. Share it. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Give us a 5-star review everywhere.
What's up, y'all? This is Kelly, co-host of the Naked Room podcast that you're listening to right now. I am leaving a voicemail on our anonymous voicemail hotline. Yeah, you know it's me, but you already knew my voice anyway. I'm leaving this voicemail so that you know that this line exists. If you feel like contributing to a previous episode or you just want to get something off your chest, you can call us and leave us a voicemail here at 1-213-537-9791. I'll also drop the number in the show notes. We look forward to hearing from you.
The Naked Room Podcast is brought to you by hot coffee, cold showers, grit and determination, the power of being a woman.
We'd like to thank ourselves. This is a self-run operation. We have done all of this on our own, other than with the help of our hot sound guy, my husband, Curtis Keeper, who curated all of our equipment and got us up and running.
If you'd like to sponsor us, reach out.